These staghorn sumac, as they're called, are a small tree that are part of the cashew family of trees. This tree, being native to North America, can be found in southeastern Canada as well, and the northeastern to midwestern part of the U.S., and to the Appalachian Mountains. Looking at the leaves and the stems, they are densely covered in rust-colored hairs. The fruiting body part of this plant is a dark red with dense clusters at the end of the branches, being cone-shaped. It flowers from May to July, with the fruit part of the plant ripening in June to September. With the leaves turning a brilliant red in the fall, the fruit part of the plant can last right through the winter. Sumac spreads by seeds or the stem part of the plant that's underground, forming colonies, having the oldest plants in the center and the younger plants on the outskirts of the colony. It can grow in a wide range of conditions and is found mostly in dry, poor soil in which other plants cannot grow well. The fruit part of the sumac can be soaked, washed, then strained, then add some sugar, making a pink lemonade. Also, all of the sumac plant except the roots can be used as a natural dye. It's loaded with tannins and can be added to other dye baths to improve them. So we've seen just a small part of what grows along the margins of a forest to out in the open field environment with the sumac tree, the milkweed plant, and the goldenrod plant, and the insects that live and feed on these plants. A damselfly resting on a plant. Damselflies look very similar to dragonflies, but their wings are parallel to their body when at rest. Also, damselflies are smaller than dragonflies and are weaker flyers. Their eyes are separately set on their heads, compared to dragonflies' eyes, which are connected to one another. Their eggs are laid in the water or in water-filled cavities. The nymphs, or babies, are carnivorous, feeding on various small aquatic organisms. Adults feed on mosquitoes, flies, and other small insects. Vines wrap around this tree, using the tree to gain higher altitude in which to gather sunlight and to grow and spread. Since the vine stems are not straight and rigid like the tree, this technique for survival and propagation is a strategy used by the vines that works very well. This flat-top white aster is a sign of a late summer to early fall flower bloom. Also a sign of the coming fall is when Queen Anne's lace plant's flowers curl up in a ball after their blooming and pollination process is done for the season. Plant berries have ripened from a wide variety of plant species within the forest, as yet another plant cycle and season will soon come to a close. A red squirrel nest sits in a pine tree, made up of grass, leaves, and branches. The red squirrel, also known as the pine squirrel, is an active mammal during the day and sleeps at night, defending a territory year-round and having a diet of conifer cone seeds. The red squirrel has recently been expanding its range to include hardwood trees. They have a range of most of Canada and into the United States east of the Rockies. And as seen here, they use their tails in a sign of agitation and as a warning signal to other squirrels in the vicinity that there may be danger in the area, along with warning cries sounding of high-pitched squeaks. A littering of pine cone shavings are a sign of their feeding activities, such as seen here, along with holes dug into the ground for food storage, as seen in this photograph of a cache of fir cones. Even in the very early fall, there's still a large amount of insect activity on species of plants that are still green and flowers that bloom in the late season. A myriad of insects try to gather sustenance with the final goal of mating and then producing offspring for species perpetuation, just one of many constant biological cycles within this ecosystem. Besides lichens that can be found on the trunks of trees, they can also be found on the ground as well, and in this species, commonly called reindeer lichen, they are more pronounced. capable of growing in both hot and cold climates in dry open areas and found primarily in high altitude environments with no trees. That gives it no problem surviving and growing in cold temperatures. Reindeer lichen, as with many lichens, grows very slowly, about 3 to 5 millimeters per year, and can take decades to recolonize an area where they've been damaged or destroyed. And something else found on the ground nearby are these deer droppings. As well as tracks seen earlier along the stream bank, this is another indicator for a forest hiker to take notice that a deer was standing here not too long ago. Like bird droppings seen earlier, deer droppings are beneficial as well to the forest ecosystem in the recycling and fertilization process. As we keep following along the ground, here, a species of clover which is found in more open areas of the forest compared to other species that grow within the forest is known as red clover. It is used as a green fertilizer in agriculture and also used in a variety of medicinal purposes. As for the different living and dying situations with trees we've seen, another example can be seen here with an oak tree that has fallen over on its side across a hiking path, but apparently the trunk is still alive and taking nourishment and water from out of the ground, and continues to grow with a line of leaves upright and parallel with the trunk of the tree. In this program, we've just looked at a small part of what makes up a northeastern coastal forest in the northern hemisphere, from the ground up and the animals within it, showing some of the connections nature can show us if we care to look. And in the end, that's what it boils down to, whether we care or not to recognize that this forest and all others around the world need to be protected and cared for by us and future generations. We need the forest of the earth, from everything to the oxygen it gives us to the medicines it produces that we benefit from. Yes, we very much need the forest, but if all the people of the earth were to disappear overnight, it would do just fine without us. So that being said, we have to ask ourselves, why continue to harm it?